Are you looking at ways to improve your wealth, your finances, your money psychology as a man? Well, today I want to share 5 lessons I've learned from the book The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Welcome back to the Men's Mental Health podcast. So thank you for tuning in today. I'm kind of experimenting a little bit with my podcast. I won't go too much into that because obviously you want the value today. As always, I like to deliver it, but I'm kind of experimenting a little bit, and I'm very, very fascinated by wealth psychology. So this is something I'm going to incorporate more of into my podcast. And I know a lot of you I know you may struggle with finances. You may or may not. If you're watching this, you probably want to improve it in some degree, and I think everyone does, right? But as a man, you probably want to improve it for some degree. So I'm not sitting here and saying I'm a billionaire or multi-millionaire. No. But there's certainly things I've learned and been able to implement in my life that has helped me. And when I teach something, I find I learn it and embed it even more as well. But it's not a case, and by the way, that would be a tip I would share with you. If you want to really embed something, teach it, but also make sure you're embedding it or using it in some kind of way, and you're not claiming you're something you're not. Of course not. So here are 5 lessons I've learned from the book that have really helped me and have seen results showing up in my life. So number 1, frequency versus effort. And we're talking, I'm in a program as well. I've got a coach called Jim Thornton who's amazing, and we're in a great cohort at the moment, and we're going for a lot. And I've had a lot of realizations in that as well. I spoke about this recently. And he's very good at going into the subconscious, into the deeper levels of us. Now, 95% of our behavior is driven from the subconscious. And the Science of Getting Rich talks about not just the things you're doing on the physical level, like working hard and what people can physically see you doing. It's a lot deeper than that. And actually, that's what's driving your results. And I think it's really important to combine what I've learned from Jim Thornton about frequency and effort. In my experience, if you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling burned out, and you're feeling anxious, you're feeling stressed, and you're putting in a load of effort versus feeling really good, feeling abundant, feeling excited, and putting in less effort, but it's consistent to some degree, the second is more likely to produce results because frequency and energy is everything. Think about it. If you find someone who's really excited, really passionate about what they're doing, are they going to be more attractive for business opportunities, for working with, for getting guidance from, than someone who's like, oh, I'm really burnt out, I'm exhausted at the moment? Of course they are, right? And then also, if you we're talking about wealth today, but in a romantic setting, you're going to be attracted to someone with high energy and putting in that effort consistently than someone who's exhausted, fed up and stressed, right? So that's what I've learned in my experience. Things will show up when I'm not burning myself out. I don't even like the term burnout, to be honest. But when I'm in a place of feeling good but consistently doing something, and that's results my podcast generated. When I started, I've attracted clients or business opportunities in a place when I'm feeling good, I'm taking consistent action, and I'm not burning myself out. As opposed to when I've done things, I've been exhausted. Now, I do appreciate there are certain times and periods in life where you may be doing something you don't like. We all have to do from time to time. You may be having to just catch up and work 2 jobs, maybe a job and a part-time or something like that. I appreciate some people doing some very exhausting things. But my general point is what I've learned is hard work and just being in a scarcity, exhausted mindset is it's never going to lead to something great. You see these people on social media talking about, you got to hustle, you got to work hard. But actually, you see the Grant Cardones, the Alex Hormozis, who I love. I think they're insanely good at what they do. Great marketers. I'm reading Alex Hormozzi's latest book. He's so good. These guys absolutely love what they're doing. You can see by the way they're talking, right? They don't look burned out because they're doing so much of it because they absolutely love it. Now, behind the scenes, of course, they're going to have down days and things like that. Right? But if you look at any successful entrepreneur, they're excited about what they're doing. That's why they're working so hard. When I've done something that's not in alignment and it's exhausted me, maybe now and then I'll get a little bit of a result, a bit of income or something from it, or a new networking opportunity. But it's like, make sure you focus on your frequency and your energy above anything. And if you're exhausted, take a break. Like, you're going to get more out of that than if you're burning yourself out and exhausting yourself. Again, I'm using that term a lot more than I intended to. The second lesson I've learned from it is we have a mind, body, and soul. And if you really want to look after all of those areas and be the best example of you, look after your mind intellectually, what you need, your body, what does your body need, and also you want to look after your soul, what really you feel called to do in this world, you're going to need money, right? And it doesn't mean you can't do things for free. It doesn't mean you can't go outside and enjoy the view. No, that can be absolutely free. But like, if you really want to give yourself the best, like nutrition, look after yourself and all those kind of things, right? You're going to need money. You're going to need money to learn more. Like, if you want to learn quicker and have like a mentor or something, you're going to need money. If you want to do what you love, you want to give to people, you can look after people. And if you're watching this, you're probably that kind of person. Then like, yeah, you can do kind acts, like maybe like say something kind to someone. But think about it, like, even like, I've seen homeless people on the street, right? And I remember giving, I don't do this all the time, but I remember giving like a homeless person £20. Do you know how amazing they felt? They were like, oh my God, I'm so blessed. Do you know how good that felt for me? And where did that come from? That came from money, right? And giving the charity, I give to like a Great Ormond Street Hospital because it's close to my heart, and my brother died there, and they look after children, right? But it's like, I can't donate to that if I don't have money. So actually saying our money's not important is rubbish, right? Because it gives you the best quality of life. It's not like you know, if someone gets ill that you love and you could pay for the best treatment for them, how are you going to do that? Oh, I was going to pay for out love. No, right? You know, you love them, but it's like you want to contribute by giving them the best care. So what I've learned from it is to really not downplay money. You know, it is an important thing in this world. It's not the be all and end all. Of course not, right? You know, we love each other. And I heard this quote once, and this may rattle some people, but I'm just going to share it. Harv Eker, out of the Millionaire Mindset book, is a great quote he came up with. And he said this. He said, people are saying, what's more important, money or love, is one of the dumbest questions he's ever heard. And because that's like asking, what's more important, your leg or your arms? They're both vitally important, right? You need both of them. So that's what I comment on that one as well. And if you've got bad attitude and money, maybe sit with that. Maybe that's why you don't have more of it, that you can't do more of what you want. All right. The third one it teaches is everything comes from like our thoughts. Like, everything created, like money was printed, like buildings were built, ideas were created, like the, you know, laptops, technology we've got, that all came from the mind. So therefore, if you want to create stuff and give value to the world, that comes from your mind. So thinking about what you want on a regular basis and how you're going to create it and who you are and who you want to be, that is absolutely vital to creating riches and wealth. The fourth lesson I've learned is focus on today's work. We can often be like planning for emergencies, all these kind of things. And in the book, I've got to be honest on this point of view, it says don't plan for future emergencies. I disagree. I think, like, you know, you want some kind of like, and there's always going to be different interpretations in the book. I feel like, not that I'm the expert, I suppose this guy, but this is just my personal view, and always go with what you feel. But I believe like it is good to have some kind of contingency into your life. But yeah, the general point is like, don't be focused so much on the future all the time. It's focusing on today's work and what you want to do, right? What are you going to do today, and focus on today's work. That's what successful people do. They go, right, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do today. And they don't put it off. Number 5, if you want to earn more, go and create increase for people in their life. And that makes a lot of sense. That's another term for value, but an increase in value. If you want to get more, like, really think about how you can increase the quality of someone's life. It might be their health. How can you increase the quality of their health? It might be their relationships, whether that's a romantic one or whether it's multiple relationships. how can you increase the quality of their life through that? And then the other part is, how can you increase maybe their money, their wealth? How can you create that opportunity for them? And sometimes people think working hard is the same as adding value. It is not. Now, when you add value, you often are working hard, which is great as well. But like, there's lots of jobs out there where you can work very, very hard and it's not actually giving an increase. Like, and I'm probably going to offend some things now, but again, it's all about, I want you to get value out of this. I want you to get thinking, right? You know, working in a fast food place, right? You got to, you often have to do it at a young age to earn a bit of money, get your first job. That's great. But is that really adding value and increase to people's life? It's serving them food. But like, if you went into a company and then you save them $500,000 a year with it, and you were paid like 50,000 for that like consultation, then you're giving them a massive increase. You're giving them a 10x investment, and you're earning like 50k just for that, right? Whether that number's accurate or not, that's just an example. So think about how you can increase the quality of people's lives. Like, people, and if you feel like you are and you're not being valued, either I would suggest finding something on the side or finding another place of work where you are being valued and the increase you're giving to people is there, right? Again, it's not me saying what job's right, what's wrong, it's totally up to you what's best for you, but really ask yourself the question, are you giving an increase to people's life, right? Like, when I've worked with people on coaching sessions, like, yeah, I had to increase my skills. But at the beginning, I had to work for a lot, but I was helping people improve their careers. They were like getting, promotions. I saw people increase the quality of their relationships, their connections with people, getting that new opportunity they want. I was adding an increase to their life, right? So think about how you're going to do that for other people as well. Like, people can grumble all they want about people who get a lot of money, but look at what they actually are doing. Like, the richest people on the planet, look at what they're actually doing, right? You'd have to do the same thing, but just think about, where can you add an increase to someone's life, where you can add value to people's life? And typically the main areas are health, wealth, and relationships. How can you do that? As often people will go out in business, and I was one of them, and you're like, I want to be a mindset coach and help people. That's amazing. That's incredible. But it's like, what you're actually going to deliver them at the end of the day is what really, really matters. So those are my 5 lessons I've learned from the science of getting rich. Highly recommended book. Again, I'm really wanting to embed the book even more into my system and my learning, so I'll keep putting out these videos and using examples of my life as much as possible as well. So thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you for being here, and remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.